Hello, beautiful, and a warm welcome to Accepting. I'm Aline, your host, and in this episode is one very, very close to my heart. It's the sacred pause, and we're recording outside as the world is just beginning to wake up with the sun rising, taking her sacred pause. So get yourself cozy, get your favorite drink, and let's dive in. Welcome to Accepting, where I guide you to accept all aspects of your beautiful self, embrace your truth, and live your life that way. Welcome, beautiful, to this episode. Those of you who are listening, I am outside. I have the tree of love behind me. Just move to the side so you can see the beautiful heart. And we are embracing the stillness. We are embracing the pause of this morning. It's absolutely glorious. And the sacred pause is, as empaths, it's so important that we have rest. As empaths, it's so important that we're not in pressured environments all the time. It's so important that we take that time to reflect and be. And the sacred pause isn't just stopping. So we're entering into the stillness, and our body knows. When you think about how we've actually been designed to wake up with the sunrise and to fall asleep with the sunset, our body, it's that natural circadian rhythm. It's that natural rhythm. And just feeling into the liminal spaces, it's those spaces in between sunrise and sunset. If you've ever had the wonder and the beauty to watch the sunset at the beach or anywhere, or had the wonder of watching the sunrise, you'll remember that beautiful, peaceful feeling. And that is what a sacred pause is. It's not a luxury, it's a necessity for empaths. As empaths, we feel so much, we take on so much, we give so much naturally. And what this is allowing us to do, we're wired very differently. Society from childhood put us into systems in school where we were doing, competing, with no stretch, with no space to explore. It was all very structured. And I'm speaking from my point of view as a Gen X, I think I am. I'll be 49 years young this year. So it's changing the narrative that society has told us. First of all, having a pause is not laziness. It's necessity, my gorgeous. I would like you to just feel into, so that feeling of when we go on holiday and having that pause and that break and that, oh, thank goodness. And that feeling of waiting for the weekend while we're doing throughout the week. How about if we had that feeling of the rest that we have on holiday, the rest that we have at the weekend or whenever your day off is? How about we change that to having that feeling every day? How much easier would that feel? And with the sacred pause, it really allows us absolutely to rest and recalibrate and get our energy back. What it also allows us to do is reflect. So as empaths, as well as anybody, particularly as empaths, because it is instilled into us from childhood to people please, to fawn, to help everybody else before ourselves, so we can make sure we feel okay while everybody else feels okay around us, and we're accepted and we fit in. So we carry this through to adulthood. We carry this through to our whole life. So I've been really feeling into this for a number of years now, and my sacred pause began the year of my 40th birthday through an accident. I was forced to look at myself, to look at the life that I was leading, to look at where I was performing, to look at where I was reacting and not acting, to look at where I was showing up for everybody else and not myself. To look at where I was putting a mask on every day, that was where my sacred pause began. And it's nearly 9 years now. And it's not just, okay, fine, let's focus on that, let's change. It's constantly working on ourselves. It's constantly reminding ourselves we do not have the same rhythm as others. Nobody has the same rhythm. So it's really important finding out what is your rhythm. And the sacred pause allows you to do this. And I would invite you to feel into if there's a situation where you've just been pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, and it's not changing, whatever that could be. It might be a creative project, might be something at work, it may be a familial situation, it may be an intimate relationship. And here comes little Meowie, for those of you who are listening, to remind us the way of the cat. Now, I would like to take you back to what I mentioned before about the way of the cat, especially as this gorgeous little creature has come and sat next to me. So cats take their time. Cats rest. They pause. And then they have the energy, I guess, for in the olden times and at night when they go out for hunting. They have the energy that they need to be all in, and then they rest. So this is why in the previous episode, and so much of the way I live, I'm guided by my cats, because just watching how they work, they decide what they wish to do. They decide what's best for them. You know, they make their choices based on that. And then they truly, truly look after themselves. And many people feel that cats, a lot of people feel, not everybody, that cats are solitary creatures, and a fair few people, I guess, are scared of cats. Cats actually are tribal creatures as well. They just put themselves first. So as well as putting themselves first, they can also look after everybody. So that's a wonderful way to be. As an empath, you can still help those that you wish to help and you choose to help. You're just making sure you're in that space to be able to do that. And this is what a sacred pause is, my gorgeous. I mentioned before, I would love you to feel into that feeling of the sunrise, that feeling of the sunset. That's a sacred pause. That's allowing you to take a moment before entering the day. So I would really invite you, with anything that's happening with you at the moment, and I've taken you through the stop process many times, that's a sacred pause. It's just allowing yourself to reflect. And as I'm saying that, the elements are agreeing with us. And it's allowing yourself to reflect. It's allowing yourself to be slow. It's allowing yourself to be soft. It's allowing yourself to accept and believe that a sacred pause is not laziness. As much as society has pushed into us, you have to do, and not doing something is lazy, it really, really isn't. It so isn't. If you remember moments when you come back from holiday, or moments when you come back from a break, and you have fresh eyes and fresh energy, and everything seems to flow so much easier, and then you compare that to when you're in a pressured situation, your shoulders are up around your ears, shortness of breath, you're trying to push through to get an answer, to get a creative inspiration. More than likely, my gorgeous, it doesn't happen that way. Now, I'm not talking about pushing through in terms of when we're going through transformation for our betterment, and naturally we can come into fight, flight, freeze and fall, and we can stop ourselves. I'm talking about when we're pushing to our detriment, to the detriment of our health. Absolutely, if we are at a pivotal moment in life and we're about to break through, let's call it a breakthrough, and all of a sudden fear can kick in because it's new, it's change. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in general every day. I would absolutely invite you to keep breaking through with kindness, compassion, and your sacred pause. I'm talking about that pushing where it's become flopping into bed at the end of the day, that pushing where you're jumping into everything around you that everybody expects of you to your detriment. So the sacred pause, my gorgeous, is so, so necessary and so, so beautiful. And I'm going to take a sacred pause for a moment and have a cup of tea, a little sip of my tea in my beautiful dragonfly cup with my message, with my message for today, which is the unknown has to be trusted. So my cup of tea message today is the unknown has to be trusted. And this is what this series is about. So with the sacred pause, it may be a complete unknown to you. You may be feeling, well, I can't just stop in the middle of the day. I can't just stop. That's not going to do anything for me. Try it. Just try it. It doesn't have to be for a week or a day or a month. It's just switching technology off, taking time for yourself, being under a tree if that feels right for you, just taking a moment away before you go back to whatever situation you've been in that's felt pressured. Going back to that situation with a beautiful, beautiful feeling of stillness, feeling of calm, feeling of quietness. That is the sacred pause. And that's really beautiful, really beautiful. So that's what I would like to leave you with for this episode. It's just entering into the sacred pause, because it's really important just to feel into it first. And then in the next episode, we're going to be continuing that feeling, and we're going to be continuing that feeling of the stillness and the softness, and embracing that stillness and softness. So for now, my gorgeous, I would love you just to take that away, feel into your sacred pause, and I would like you to reflect where you have taken gentle reflection and pause away from any project, from any relationship or situation, and you have gone back and it has felt so different. And then I would like you to compare that to when you've been in a very, very pressured environment and nothing has changed. It may have exacerbated, and actually the situation has got more pressured and worse. So that's what I would love you to reflect on today. And remember, as I mentioned before with cats, the sacred pauses that they take. You know, in Egypt, they were seen as gods and goddesses, and that's how they remember themselves. So how about we all take a little leaf out of the cat's book and treat ourselves like goddesses and gods, and really treat ourselves with sovereignty, with wonder, treat ourselves as our best friend, with compassion and love and understanding, because this is where the sacred pause comes from. It comes from love, it comes from compassion, and it comes from understanding. When we truly, truly accept we deserve a sacred pause, that comes from a place of love and compassion. And as we enter into that sacred pause with love and compassion, that is where understanding comes into. And it's not seeing it as a stop, it's seeing it as a doorway, it's seeing it as an opening. We're not closing doors when we're having a sacred pause, we're actually opening them up to new possibilities, to better ways, to a more calm existence. And you'll find, as you take your sacred pause, that others will be inspired around you. So it's really important as well when we're entering into anything new And if you already take a sacred pause, fantastic, keep going. If you are still in a mindset where a sacred pause feels like laziness to you, this isn't a blame zone. This is a judgment-free zone. This is what has been instilled into us to make us keep doing, and going. So allow yourself to have that feeling of uncertainty and change that into curiosity. How would it feel if I take a sacred pause? Well, that sounds quite exciting, actually. I'm quite looking forward to that. Enter it with curiosity, not with trepidation, not with fear. Enter it with, yeah, I'm interested in this. Let's see how this goes. Let's feel how this goes. And you're changing the narrative already and allowing yourself to have that. So I would really invite you to feel into where could be your sacred pause. Could you get up earlier and just be still in the moment as the sun is rising? Is that a possibility for you? Could you be somewhere, and if you can't see the sunset, but could you be somewhere as the sun is setting? Because naturally the world stops. As I mentioned before, if you've had the wonder and the privilege of seeing the sunrise before and seeing the sunset before, and being in nature, for example, just feeling that stillness all around you, when we enter into that state and that intention, that is naturally going to come into us because our body knows, our body teaches us. So I would invite you, if you can work with the sunrise and the sunset, and also at noon, that is a liminal time. That's a time in between. That's a sacred pause. Is take those moments and try and work with those moments to start with. Just choose one. Sunrise or sunset or noon, whichever feels right for you, and just take yourself away, however that may feel for you, away from technology. You may not be able to get outside, at least if you can just switch things off and go and just be for 5 minutes, for 2 minutes, however it feels. Close your eyes, put your hand on your heart, say I am safe, and feel into that moment, that beautiful sacred pause that you so deserve and is so necessary for you to bring your wonder into the world, is so necessary for you to show up as you do so beautifully, is so necessary for when you choose to help and look after others, you're doing that from a beautiful place, from a place that's filled with wonderful energy. You've filled your energetic cup up, and you're not exhausted afterwards. You're not entering into bitterness and feeling guilty for it. So I would really invite you, my gorgeous, to feel into that for the next episode. And if you have really resonated with this episode and you'd like to take this further, I would love to invite you to the Caris method. Now, the Caris method is a toolkit for empaths, for midlife empaths, for any empaths who are going through significant change. And let's face it, the whole world is changing. So it's for all empaths. And it's all of the tools that work for me. It's meditations, it's guided processes, it's energetic processes, it's talking through situations, it's allowing you to breathe, it's allowing you to be, it's getting you to the point of accepting yourself, it's getting you to the point of accepting your own rhythm. There's so much in there, and it's from a place of grace. I've created it from a place of stepping into your power in your own pace, at your own pace. So there's no pressure. You go at your own pace. You feel into what you would wish to work for in that day. Yes, there's a gentle structure if you're just beginning, absolutely. What also is there is if you are in a situation where you haven't necessarily looked after your energy before going into a pressured environment, or you're just leaving a pressured environment, there is an emergency toolkit in there as well to bring you back, to really help you. And then there's the preventative, if you like, there's the preventative medicine in there, which is really, really looking after yourself and working with a gentle framework, so you can reframe how you're showing up. You can reframe how you treat yourself. You can reframe your sensitivity is your power, not a burden, not a weakness. That's what it's all about. It's accepting yourself entirely. And it's called the Karas method because I love, and I'm so grateful to my teachers, Christos T. Perry and Foster Perry, for introducing me to Hecate, the most beautiful goddess, the dark mother of the new moon. And Hecate is a Greek goddess. And for many, she's so much more. For me, she's the queen of the fairies as well. And with the Greek element, charis in Greek means grace. So it's called the Karas method because we're entering with grace. We're treating ourselves with grace so we can be in the world in grace. And if you would like to be in grace with the Karas method, join my waitlist and you will receive a 15% gift for you saying your sacred yes to yourself. All right, my gorgeous. So if that feels to resonate, please join the waitlist. It is beautiful. So thank you so much for joining me for this episode. Please feel into your sacred pause. And in the next episode, we're going to be talking about embracing the silence. Okay, so for now, with so much love, thank you for being here. Here is to your self-empowerment. Here is to your self-acceptance. And please review. Please place a review. Please share. Please subscribe so we can really, really spread the word and we can all start accepting ourselves and get on with why we're really here. And there's the Fae agreeing with me. So much love. Ho. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Accepting. Please do stay tuned for future episodes and also subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. If there's anything at all that you'd like me to cover in future episodes, please get in touch and let me know. You can also follow me on Instagram at The Acceptance Coach and on TikTok at Solution Union 99. And if you'd like to have any coaching at all, or you would like to discuss this, do book an expansion call. For now, I'm your host, Aline, and to your self-acceptance, gorgeous, with so much love.